This guy attempted to rob a police officer and paid the ultimate price. Let's talk about it. So before we get into the news article brought to you by Pix 11, let's talk about a little bit what happened. So the audacity of these people in New York City, right? You know, the government there is not tough on crime, right? People commit these robberies. If they get caught, they pretty much get released the very next day. And sometimes even on the second armed robbery, they get probably probation. So what are perpetrators or people with bad intentions going to do? They're going to outweigh the pros and cons of committing crimes. And that is what's going on in New York City right now. Particularly where we land to Mr. Soto. I cannot pronounce his first name, but he is a Dominican guy in his 30s who migrated here from the Texas border in 2024. Right? And what do we do here? You come in here, you have an opportunity. What you do, you rob people. Now, this happened in Washington Heights. 173rd and Amsterdam is the heart of Washington Heights. It's 90% Dominican Republic. This is little Dominican Republic right here. Everybody knows Washington Heights because that's where all the noise, all the clubs, all the bars are at. Right? That's where you want to be at. Now, majority of the people live here are Dominicans, but they're law-abiding Dominicans. Now, this type of guy here, he's not law-abiding at all. He comes in here with a purpose. Now, before this encounter, he actually went on a robbery spree that led to 3 gunpoint robberies. So, according to records, Mr. Soto, his accomplice, who actually fled the scene and has not been caught yet, carried out 3 gunpoint robberies in a span of 13 minutes before the fatal encounter with the cop. So he robbed 3 people at gunpoint before this situation happened. That is crazy. So just to give you a rundown of all the robberies that he did here, the string of violence began around 9:30 p.m., right? Started at 440 Broadway, which is not that far from the location of where he tried to rob the off-duty officer. He robbed a 37-year-old for his moped, which is people don't know what a moped is. It's pretty much like a motorcycle without gears. It's a 2-wheeled, gas-powered motorcycle, right? Those from New York know those things are everywhere, and majority of those are not registered. Now, when he robbed the off-duty officer, he did have a white moped. It's unsure if that's the moped that he robbed prior or that moped, the stolen moped, is what his accomplice was riding. That it's still unclear. So anyways, he robbed this 27-year-old for his moped at gunpoint and then fled away, right? Pretty much the victim said that he told him, get off the bike or I'll shoot you, right? After that, 5 minutes later, he robbed a married couple at around 3800 block of Broadway, which again is not that far. It's like maybe a 5-minute ride. It's crazy the audacity that this kid has, right? He made similar threats like, "Oh, give me your necklace or I'll kill you," as one of the guys snatched the jewelry off the person's neck, right? And even pistol whipping the female's husband in the head and leg. And that's all in a span of like maybe 15 minutes. And right before this, he tried to rob the off-duty officer. So the way it worked is he got in that white moped, right? He approached the off-duty officer, which obviously he was in plain clothes. And as he got closer to him, he asked him, "Hey, do you know so-and-so?" He whispered out a random name. And obviously the off-duty officer doesn't know who that is. And he says, "No, I don't know who that is." And that's when Mr. Soto brandished a firearm, attempted to rob him. Not knowing that this guy is a cop who also has his own firearm. So the off-duty officer takes out its firearm and shoots him center mass in the chest. Boom, goes down, right? Even after all that, the off-duty officer attempted to save his life by conducting CPR chest compressions, as witness you will see stated. Unfortunately for him, he didn't survive and passed away in Harlem Hospital. Now that you got a little bit back the story on this guy, let's watch the news article.
More violence over the weekend, this time in Manhattan. A few robbers riding around on mopeds, targeting New Yorkers, and apparently picking the wrong person Sunday night. An off-duty NYPD officer.
Okay, so he picked the wrong person.
The man apparently asking the officer if he knew someone by name. Then one of the men allegedly pulled out a gun, and that's when the officer fired his weapon, leaving one man dead and another this afternoon on the run. Nicole Johnson reports from the scene in Washington Heights, where we're learning some more details about the suspect and his accomplice.
This cell phone video shows an off-duty NYPD officer minutes after he shot Laion's.
So apparently, allegedly, the off-duty officer was right here, just leaning against his own car that was double parked. Also, you know, Washington Heights, there's no parking anywhere. You legit have to wait hours and hours in order for you to park, right? So he's waiting right here, just hanging out, speaking with somebody, just having a conversation when the moped approached from this direction.
Soto. You can see the officer still holding his weapon, pacing, apparently on the phone trying to get help. The sound of gunfire undeniable to a neighbor in Washington Heights.
Like 7-8 shots?
7-8 shots.
Yeah, that was I went running to the window with my girlfriend.
Now, this is the type of place that we live in, where people are so used to high, like loud noises and motorcycles and gunshots and fireworks and loud music, that when you hear gunfire, you run to the window because you want to be nosy. That's the crazy place, Washington Heights. Like this, like if I hear a loud bang, I'm running away. As a civilian, I'm running away. On duty is something different. But off duty, if I was a regular civilian, I'm running away from gunshots. No. People in Washington Heights, they run towards the gunshot because they want to see what happened.
He pulled out his cell phone and started recording.
But from my window, I saw the police trying to revive. Yeah.
So he did try to give
It was
CPR.
around 9:45 Sunday night. Soto and another man on a moped pulled up on the off-duty officer near West 173rd Street and Amsterdam Avenue. Police say the man asked the officer if he knew a certain person by name. Then one of them pulled out a gun. The officer fired several rounds.
Officers have recovered a loaded 9mm firearm at the crime scene.
That's a nice gun. Where did this guy get this gun from? Who knows?
Our officers performed life-saving measures at the scene, and the subject was transported to New York City Health and Hospitals, Harlem, where he was pronounced deceased.
Sources tell Pix 11 News Soto was an undocumented migrant from the Dominican Republic who came here about 2 months ago. Apparently, Soto and the other man were riding around robbing people.
So, again, they got there 2 months ago, but he been in illegally in the United States since 2024, which he crossed over from the Texas border.
Just minutes before the shooting, including a married couple. This woman lives in the neighborhood.
I do not feel safe, especially.
You know what's crazy? I'm sorry, I gotta keep pausing this. This right here is a pool. It's a New York City funded pool, right? It's called Highbridge. I used to go here as a kid. How crazy how time has changed. You never used to hear about people getting robbed in broad daylight, or like you hear robberies here and there, but not as much as now. As a kid, I used to go to this pool. This is a pool right here. It's called Highbridge Pool.
Actually, knowing that moments prior, there were individuals trying to rob other people, I do not feel safe.
Sunday's shooting is the second time in about 3 days an off-duty officer fatally shot someone. Friday, a 44-year-old man was shot and killed in Staten Island. Last month, 2 men also on mopeds shot a Border Patrol officer during a botched robbery. The men are now facing federal charges. The NYPD has seen a rise in the...
Look at this right here. Look at this. This is just confiscation of mopeds, motorized scooters from the city of New York. This is probably like half the summer. This is just half the summer right here. And that is the issue that New York City is having right now. These things right here, everybody knows in New York, if you getting approached by 2 guys in the moped, you're going to be on high alert. Because you better cross the street or go somewhere away from these people because you know you're about to get robbed. Everybody in New York City knows that.
A number of moped-involved robberies, with some involving shootings. While they have been cracking down on illegal mopeds, shootings like this only highlight a very concerning trend.
I feel scared, and I wish that something could be done and that the individuals that want to do harm will probably rethink what they want to do.
In Washington Heights, Nicole Johnson picks up.
Yeah, so back to this individual, man. I don't know who. I guess they got this picture from Instagram. Peluche means teddy bear in Spanish. But yeah, man, you come to this country, it's to look for a better life. And it's just, some people just don't get it. You know, they want to come here and commit crimes. And it's because our justice system is not tough. In New York City, our justice system is not as tough as other places. And people, unfortunately, take advantage of that. That is my input. This guy robbed the wrong person. And this is a normal thing. This happens in New York City every single day. It just so happens that this guy had horrible luck this day and bumped into somebody who was armed, just like he was. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on this topic in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so that we guys can see more videos like this. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.